Hi, my name is Najda. I'm a fifth generation born Kenyan. I'm a HR professional. I work for an international company based in Kenya, and I represent the West, East, and Central African offices. I also have an online talk show called The Big Fat Talk Show, which is something I do out of my passion for women and youth. And I'm a big advocate for the UN Sustainable Development Goals. So that's me in a nutshell.
Okay, my name is Asif. I'm 39 years old, UK born and bred. Came to Kenya about 4 years ago and been here ever since. I was trained in IT in the UK, studied in the UK, sorry. I'm an IT professional now here in Kenya. We've been married 5 years in December.
Yeah, it's going to be 5 years in December. We got married in December 2015. It's a typical story of social media love. So one day I just woke up to a message from this guy, and he asks, because we shared the same surname, so he's from the same,
And we had a lot of mutual friends.
So he goes, so which Khan are you? And I'm like, what kind of question is that? So, and anyway, so I said, well, how can you ask me which Khan am I? Which Khan are you? So then I think that sparked off a conversation online, and we talked we became very good friends. It was nothing romantic at that point. It was extremely just friendship, and we talked a lot, and we got to know each other. And I think I was a few years out of my divorce from my first marriage, and he was seeing someone at that point. So we were just talking as friends. And so that's how we met.
Yeah.
Anything else I missed out? No.
Well,
yeah, so we met on Facebook. Yeah.
And when you're searching, you come across potential. So yeah, I was just telling her about the potential.
Yeah, it was
she used to give me advice, or dress like this, do this, whatever.
Yeah, it was very funny.
Imagine it's such.
We never in the start clicked off in a romantic way, and so yeah, he was right. He was going to see, a lady, who he was trying to get married to, and I was giving him advice on how he should dress and what he should say, and things he shouldn't say. And so it was a very that kind of very the friendship was real, and I think it really helped us in getting to know each other without a romantic aspect, which actually built a foundation. We were friends first. Yes.
So basically, she went with her friend to Tanzania.
Zanzibar.
To Zanzibar, on a little vacation type thing. So she was there, and then we were talking. Obviously, we talked every day. So she was there, and then she told me that about some guy who had showed interest in her. And at that point, my head just went, "Hold up, no, she's mine." I think that's the point where I actually realized that, I want to be with her. So that's where it changed. And then, obviously, I didn't say that to her right away. You're mine. What the hell?
Okay.
So so then we just got talking, and I said to her, "What about if we, actually, go forward with our relationship?"
Yeah. So what happened was, I remember that day very clearly, because we were like I told you, we were just friends, and. So how he was sharing with me about, meeting these potential suitors for himself. And then I was in Zanzibar. It was my birthday. We went out with a couple of friends for a short vacation. And then I just told him, oh my God, we were at this function, and I met this guy. And I remember the cold silence. And I felt it was very unusual, because it was normal. Why is he so silent? I remember that. Yeah. And so when he did get the guts to a few days down the line, he says, you know what, I don't want to be friends anymore. Yeah. I came to the realization when you told me ABCD a few days ago, and it just struck me that you actually said, I'm not willing to lose you. So that's when he opened up and said, okay, this is what I want. Yeah. And I think, although I took a while to think about it, but it was, I know when I look at it in retrospect, I was already, I didn't hesitate. Yeah.
She's very bubbly. She's very happy. You can speak to her all day and all night. She's amazing to talk to. What else? She's very loving, very caring. Like even when we were just friends, like we were just the way she would talk to me. You know, it's like she's shown real interest. You know, so she's just an amazing person. I don't really know what else to say. She's just wonderful. You know.
Yeah.
Everything about her, the personality. You know, and we come from similar backgrounds as well. I mean, both Punjabi, Pakistani, so, well, mixed in with a few other things.
He's a very transparent person. By the way, you can see through us. If he cannot hide, he cannot lie, he cannot, deceive. It's very clear. He wears his emotion on his sleeve, almost in a sense that he's very transparent. And I think coming from a relationship that didn't have this was the striking characters in his personality that came out. And yeah, he's also extremely gentle, very gentle person. It was very easy to talk to him, very sensitive as well. So I think I was in a point in my life where this is what I was looking for, and I realized if I was to have children tomorrow, this is the man that I would want to have to raise my sons and daughters, you know.
I've had lots of practice.
Yeah, he has.
I have 13 nieces and nephews.
13 nieces and nephews, so I think he was,
yeah.
And also my dad was not a very affectionate. He never showed physical affection and stuff like that. So it was, but with Asif, I saw that even with his siblings, with his nieces, with his nephews, and I wanted that for my children. So
we come from very different backgrounds in that sense, as in. Like, for example, my family, we're very loving, we're very huggy.
Physical.
Like, when we see each other, we hug each other.
Yeah. No, my mom is like that. And
oh, yes, your mom is. Sorry, yes.
So as a father, what I saw in you is like, yes, I want this.
Yeah.
I want this to be, I want this for my children. I talk very openly about my marriage, my first marriage, because I made a decision that it was not going to, it was abusive and it was painful when it was, and it stopped being when it finished, because the moral here is not to carry on. If one person hurt you, if it's a man or a woman or a friend, it doesn't need to be just a husband, it could be even a friend or a classmate. The fact is, it's unfair for yourself, for your own emotion, and for the next person who's going to come into your life, for you to carry this on.
Life's a lesson. You know, these things, God gives you these things so you can learn something. It's not out of malice or He wants bad for you. He wants you to learn a lesson. When you've learned that lesson, then you can move on to something bigger and better. Like, I've had relationships in the past, and they're so different from what I have with Najda. Like, when I think back, I'm like, I was in that. And now it's just a totally different world. It's like I'm on a different planet.
So Asif is a very, he's very bubbly and everything, but he's also very shy. I think a lot of tech people in IT tend to have this geeky personality around them. They're behind the screen and they're in their element. So when it came to him proposing, so this was beautiful in a sense that, again, what we're fed through all the TV that we watch, and it's supposed to be very difficult for a man to even.
By the way, I hate that. You see on movies, they do these grand gestures, skywriting, whatever. It's like, what the hell are we normal people supposed to do? We can't go and get skywriters and rent the Eiffel Tower for the day. Come on, So sorry. Yeah.
But, no problem. But the media has taught us, and that it's when you're in a relationship with someone. The woman really has to push him to come and meet your parents. It's always a struggle. The man doesn't, and you're sitting there, utakuja lini, to meet my parents and stuff like that. But again, another thing that made it very clear that I wanted to marry Asif was he had made up he was very clear when we were talking, and we were, again, Islamically, we don't date. There's no dating.
Yes.
There's no intimacy before marriage. There's no, we get to know each other. You can do all that in controlled settings. And so when I was speaking to him, it was so clean. It was so pure. There was no shady stuff going on. And he said, I've known you for a very long time. We've known each other. everything. You're more than what I was looking for, and all I know is I want to marry you. So I did it like a joke. So I'm like, so come and meet my family. And he's like, okay, when? And this is from the UK to here. And again, I'm still not believing. He said when? So I said, how about like in about 2 months from now, you know, because then I can take off work and stuff like that. And he's like, okay. And he came. And, you know, I just remember, even now when I speak to some girls and they're like, this just sounds fake. But it really did at that point feel so surreal. Like, okay, then he came. And when he came, he came with his dad. And, you know, the another thing that I think we can, I'll get to even later is the family playing, the roles that families play, which also made me realize that, yes, this is what I want. Because religion teaches you that, you know, you've got traditions, you've got culture that a lot of young people today are breaking off from. And that is the biggest problem, I think, to a lot of marriages happening today. And even if your marriage goes on and stays for long, the disharmony it causes when you don't, you know, merge the families together is there. So how it happened is when he came, he was ready even to get married. He was like, so see, before I go back, we can just get married.
Yeah, I did so.
And then I can go back and we can find a way on how we'll sort this out. And I was like, wait, hold up, you know.
She's like, slow down, slow down.
Remember, I'd you know, once bitten, twice shy, that kind of situation. So I said, listen, all I know for now is that I definitely want to be married to you for the rest of my life. I just want to get to know your family, and your family gets to know mine, and we know each other. And so he was ready, his father was ready, they were ready for the marriage to happen. So
I told her, let's get engaged at least.
Yeah, but what he did was, so how he did it, we went for lunch and I remember he was sweating a bit more than usual and he was extremely nervous, which was, you know, this was like a week after he had arrived and during the first week. And I was like, what's up with you?
It's not my character.
Yeah, it's not his character, because we already passed that, you know. But he was just more, and the whole, we were eating, now it's going, I can see he wants to say something, but something's not happening. So what he does is, I remember I think he was eating a burger or something, and he's cutting it, he's eating, and while he's looking at the plate, he's not even looking at me. He's like, so I think we should get married. What do you think? And then I look at him.
He's like, so you're going to marry me or what?
You're going to marry me or what? And he's eating. And I remember stop eating. I looked at him. I was like, did you just propose to me? There was that, did you just propose to me? You know? And he stops eating. He looks at me. He's like, yeah, so are you going to marry me or what? And that was his proposal. And it was so unique, but it was so unique to him, and it also still showed me how, you know, his genuinity and everything still came through, and I wouldn't have liked it any better anyway. That was how he proposed. So we had an engagement. He surprised me with a ring and everything, and we at least had the engagement before they left again. And so that's how it happened. So I told my dad, so I was like, so what do you have in mind? I said, well, Asif suggested we just get married. He's like, what do you mean? He's in the UK. I'm like, over Skype. He's like, what? No, are you serious? I was like, yeah. Okay, so he goes, are you sure? You know, like, are you good? I'm like, yeah, I think this is it, because it doesn't make sense that I go stay at your sister's house. She's all the way in London, and he's in Leicester. It doesn't make sense. And I think I've never been more sure of something that I want to be with him, and he's the man. And he had already met him, so we were all in understanding. So he said, okay, fine.
So we had to do some research first.
We did, yeah. We met
make sure it was halal.
You know, the Islamic scholars here, and he met some there to ask them, is this a doable thing? Like, can it be done Islamically? Can a nikah be conducted over Skype? Like, you know, so they all said, yeah. They asked, there's a religious stipulation where they require a male representative from his father's side, like his father's brother or his father's uncle or grandfather. And it so happens that his father's brother lives here in Kenya.
Yeah, so my dad is actually from Kenya, born and raised in Kisumu, then moved to Nairobi. Then he went to the UK.
He went to the UK when he was very young.
So
and
lots of the family is still here, his brothers.
So his uncle was here, his dad's younger brother. And so the sheikh said, yes, that's it. Yeah. He will, atasimamia the nikah. So we thought, this is a very monumental and significant event in both our lives. So no shortcuts, not that it's just sitting in normal clothes. We both decided on both our ends we're going to do a proper.
Yeah.
So I even put the henna. I was adorned in the normal traditional red clothes, and he did his whole thing, and we had caterers outside and tents, and there was a photo booth. There was everything. It's just the groom was missing on this side, and on that side the bride was missing, but everything was the way it was supposed to be. So we, I think a few days before, my brother and him, we all set up the webcams, wide angles. We made sure the internet was strong, and so it was a very big screen on our end with the webcam. Same thing on his, so we could see everyone there. All our my family who's there, and his, all gathered at his place. His family and mine all gathered at my place in the sitting room. It was big. The sheikh was seated there, everything, and just like that, we had a Skype wedding.
If you want to get married, make it happen. You know, don't say, oh, I want to save for 5 years and buy this and buy that, take on an expensive honeymoon. You don't need to do all that. You just need to be married.
No, and the money that you were going to spend feeding people that you will never see until probably the next wedding or the funeral.
It's true.
Go spend it going for the honeymoon instead.
And then after they leave the wedding, they'll be like, oh my God, what was she wearing? What was he wearing? The food was horrible.
It's always like that.
You know, for what?
So I think we had the people who mattered the most in our lives at that time around us, and it was beautiful.
The past 5 years have been amazing. Obviously, along the road we've had a few little disagreements, few arguments. Everyone has them. You know, we're still, you know, we had to learn each other. We had to make a few compromises to gel together. You know, when you marry someone, you're basically becoming part of them now. You know, when you're single, you're just yourself. But when you're married, you have to become part of someone else. So you have to make compromises, accommodations. You have to, you basically have to. I've lost my trail of thought.
I think the misconception that, oh, you know, in the first year you get to know someone. No, it's a whole new human being who has been raised by different people in a different part of the world, or even if it's the same part of the world, but you guys have been raised differently by different values, sometimes different, you know, people, different cultures. And I mean, his mom, you know, his dad is Punjabi like we are, but his mom is white. She's British. And so there's ways he was raised that I'm thinking, you know, like, you know,
it's true.
For us.
We had a few cultural.
So those kind of things, but so it's very difficult, or it's impractical for anyone to think that you can know somebody. I think 20 years down the line, I'd still be learning about him and still be learning about me. I've spread my wings more in the 5 years than I have in my entire life before I met him. And I don't think I would have been able to spread them this far if it wasn't for Asif. And that's the biggest highlight of my 5 years.
It's true. I mean, she has functions on a few evenings. So, you know, like most men be like, no, come home. I want to be with you, you know, come. Okay, some men would say, come cook, come do this, come do that, whatever. But I want the best for her. So, I want her to become what she wants to be, where she wants to be. And if she overshoots that, even better. So I think being supportive is very important in any relationship.
So there are nights I can come home and I'm late from work. I had a meeting. It's 7:30. I'm rushing home thinking, what's for dinner? I come, dinner's been cooked. And the dishes have been washed.
She told me how to cook, by the way.
Yeah, and the house has been mopped. And I'm like, okay, so I come from a culture that this normally doesn't happen. So he's really, really good at cleaning up. Like washing the dishes and mopping and everything, he's really good at it. I don't usually tell him it needs to be done. He just kind of does it, and it was extremely refreshing and a huge bonus when I when I got married to him. I was like, yes.
I think she's right to that, because I'm from the UK. I think that played a major role.
Yeah.
And I mean, God bless her. My mom, she works hard. You know, she every day she does the dishes. You know, she really. So obviously, at times she would say, like if I left a plate sitting on the side, she would even if I've gone to whatever, she would come and get me. She'd bring me back downstairs. Where does that plate need to be? In the sink. Take it. You know, so
Well,
she trained me
thanks, Mom,
very
it
well.
helps.
She trained me very well,
Yeah.
and I always thank her for that.
Yeah.
She's
So the chore he does best is dishes and cleaning.
the way to a man's heart is through his stomach. It's so true. Like even nowadays, she'll cook something.
Through Skype. Sorry.
Even nowadays, she'll cook something. Like the other day, she cooked this is dal, which is like a dengu thing, with chicken. She's never made it that way before. Like she's made with beef, mutton before, but not with chicken. Yeah, look at my stomach. I don't even have to say anything. Just points at my stomach, you know.
I think the biggest advice when you're getting married, especially for today's generation, even people my age, is don't look at how big his bank account is, or how pretty she is, because again, like if you're interested in a marriage, none of those two play a role in how strong your relationship or your marriage will be. This is a huge misconception, and a huge it's those fake lies that people like to play on, because both of those things can disappear at any time. Now, are you be able? So the things you need to focus on is, what are their values and morals like? How compatible are we? How compatible are our families? You know, like the biggest issue is, don't let a girl lie to you that, hey, or a guy lie to you, let's go and get married, and then we'll come and tell them later. If you're interested in building a foundation of harmony, love, and respect, then make sure that all the people, most especially your mother, your father, your siblings, are involved from day one. Not only so that the man has or the woman has more respect for you, but so that you can also understand that this is the man, this is the values you're going to be teaching your children. So you want them to be there. I think for the girls, I'd say if a man is not ready and able to even come up to your family, because exactly, you're not a stone that was on the side of the road that you're just being caught. If he's not ready and able to do that, then he's not ready and
he's
able
not the
to
right one for you.
You cannot hold a relationship like that. I think although the companionship is between the two of you, the marriage is between the families, and that's what many youth today are not understanding. And I think it's a huge value that's been disregarded, and it's causing families a lot of pain, and it would definitely is detrimental to your relationship in the
because when you're marrying a woman, you're not just marrying her, you're marrying her family as well, as in they're your in-laws. Those are as good as your parents now, Yeah. So it's very important to build a relationship with your in-laws.
You don't look for a man who has a big bank account. You want companionship, love, affection, respect. But I think to the men out there, that when you're looking to get married, start developing yourself early. And financial stability doesn't mean being a billionaire. It means that at the point now, I've started working, you're out of uni, you're working, you have a good little saving going on. By the time you're getting married, you're able to give the basic necessities to your wife and your children. This is extremely important. And I think that same for the woman, start preparing yourself mentally, physically, financially as well, that I want to get married. And so I think the whole concept of boys being lax about work nowadays, and I'll just get married, we'll just we'll stay with my brother, or something like that. This is a huge issue, because
no woman wants a man like that.
No, I mean, this notion that love, we're in love, that's enough for us. Love doesn't pay the rent, and love doesn't put food on the table. And one last thing, I think you write your own story. I mean, coming from a part where I was married my first marriage at 21, I think, and then divorced, and then married again out of love, not, and then, and Asif how old were you when you got married? 37?
35.
35. So it's like, there's no set time.
Yeah.
It's where you are in your life, you make do with what you have, and you just keep moving forward. And if you want to become a better person, that's fine. But you don't have to live any story that's been told to you. You write your own story. Okay. For me, it's very hard to put it in words, but I'm going to try and put it in 3 words, is you complete me.
Okay. For me, I guess my life has totally changed. Before you, I thought I was happy. I thought I knew what I wanted. Then when you came along and you've completed me. This is the same way you said. You've completed me, and I cannot imagine a day going forward without you. I don't know what I would do. So yeah.
You're gonna make me cry. I love you.
I love you too.